the next Avengers movie. It was released in the spring of 2015, my very last quarter of college. And I most recently watched it on December 12th, 2018. Quotes and moments that stuck out to me were Barton's home life and how that keeps him grounded. It reminds the other Avengers to stay grounded. And it kind of reminds them of their humanity almost. Like, yeah, they failed, but that's okay. I kind of liked when Nat was talking with Bruce and she said, I had this dream. The kind that seems normal at the time, but when you wake, what did you dream? That I was an Avenger. That I was anything more than the assassin they made me. And that touches on, I think, a majority of the Phase 1 topics that I talked about where, you can be something more. And, it's nice to get that little bit of reminder and bit of it from a character who hadn't expressed that same feeling. I just thought this one was badass, and when I was going through depression and anxiety, I thought this was kind of a cool quote to kind of make me go, kind of bring me back and get back to it. But Cap, before the big final battle, or as the big final battle really starts, he says, you get hurt them back. You get killed, walk it off. I just thought it was so badass. That's going even more into the common Marvel MCU theme of being something more. It's when Clint is talking with Wanda and they're holed up in some random house, and she's kind of freaking out, and this is truncated. It doesn't matter what you did or what you were, but if you step out that door, you are an Avenger. And then it kind of brings Wanda back and just and she knows who she is now, or she knows what she wants to do and what she has to do because it's her job. So the last little exchange or moment that I want to bring up is as Steve and Tony are saying goodbye to each other at the end of the movie, and Steve says, the simple life. Tony says, you'll get there one day. But then Steve says, I don't know, family, stability. The guy who wanted all that went the ice 75 years ago. I think someone else came out. Yeah, I just kind of felt like that really just sums up my place right now. I don't know what I want, and I know after I come out of this, whatever this is, call it a rut, call it a funk, call it a break, whatever, someone else is coming out. I mean, it's still going to be me for the most part. I'll have a better sense of who me is after all of this, if that makes any sense. But lastly, I think the thing that stands out to me about Age of Ultron as a whole is what this movie represents and its placement in the MCU movies. So Age of Ultron was a fun to watch movie, but it's not like, it was okay. It's not like, it was in the top tiered movies, because it's actually kind of confusing and it takes like a couple watches to really get what's going on. But what Age of Ultron really does is it sets up so much leading up to Infinity War. I mean, it sets up the conflict and that leads to the Sokovia Accords. It introduces the characters Wanda and Vision, who are going to be the center of the Infinity War. It sets up the conflict between Steve and Tony and their growing tensions. It causes Thor to look into Ragnarok, and that sets off Thor Ragnarok. That's what sends Banner into the events of Thor Ragnarok 2 years later. it just sets up so much. And I feel like, I don't know how accurate it is to say this, but my 20s are my Age of Ultron. I am in the Age of Ultron phase, because whatever I'm doing now and whatever I've gone through in the past few months to few years and what I'm going to experience is going to be set up for everything else later in life. Hopefully by my 30s, I have to go through these experiences to figure out what I'm going to do and to experience more as I go through life. It made more sense in my head, but I think the point is there. So, to my 20s, my Age of Ultron. But looking forward, I'm in the middle of Age of Ultron right now. But with today being Christmas and 2019 coming in about a week later, here's to 2019. Happy New Year.